Just by looking at this world that we live in, nature, the mountains, the seas, all the creatures that are on this planet, animals, insects, we human beings, do you see how intelligent life is? It's like this cannot happen as an accident, as some level of coincidence. This, if you look at it precisely, there is just so much going on in this world that um, it it's just impossible to have some theory that says, oh, it came by accident. There is so much intelligence behind all of this. Can you see that? If you can see that, that's good, because there is a great intelligence behind it. And you can see that intelligence because you cannot see it with your physical eyes, but the same life force energy, the same intelligence that makes your mind function, makes your heart beat while you're not thinking about it, makes all the animals move, makes the flowers grow and the trees. Like this same intelligence is what you are in your essence. That same intelligence is flowing within your body, within your brain, within your soul. That great intelligence is everywhere and it's everything. If you can truly realize this truth, then why would you think that you would need to control something in your life? Well, it's because of conditioning, because we were brought up in such a way that we think that we must take life into our own hands. We must control how our life unfolds. This is a very big misconception, a very wrong lesson, so to say, that we were taught in today's society. Nothing can be further from the truth. You see, that same intelligence that created the entire cosmos, it created every single living thing within that cosmos, is the same intelligence that runs in your DNA. If that intelligence has that capacity to create such a cosmos with planets and living creatures there, why would you think that it cannot take care of itself? Because great intelligence is taking care of life, because life is what the great intelligence is. So God is taking care of God, so to say. And this is essential to realize, because if you don't realize it, and I mean truly realize it, then you'd still believe, even if it's a subtle form of belief somewhere in the shadows of your mind, that you need to do certain things to earn approval from God, to earn approval of the divine, or to earn its blessings, or whatever. You need to pray hard enough to get God to bless your life and become whatever it is that you want to become. Like if God is some kind of a vending machine, that if you just press the right buttons, if you pray in this kind of way and you meditate that long, then yeah, God will bless you. But that's not what this great intelligence is. It's not a vending machine. It's more of a spontaneous unfolding of that great intelligence taking shape and form in everything. This is why trying to control your life will only create a hellish experience for you, because you need to let go. And many people believe that letting go is something external. It means I have to stop doing effort. I have to stop pursuing things. I have to stop going to work or stop making effort to achieve something. But that's not what letting go means. Letting go has nothing to do with external things, which are your efforts, the things you need to do in your life, and so on. Letting go is an internal process, and I say process because it's not something, usually doesn't happen in an instant. It's a process that you fall into. But letting go essentially means you realize that life is taking care of life. You're being taken care of all the time. Doesn't matter if you believe it, if you feel it, if you think it. Life is always taking care of life. Intelligence is always taking care of intelligence. And once you realize this, it's that letting go refers to letting go of that inner resistance that you have, that inner need to control the outcome, to control the unfolding of your life, when you can actually function in a completely different way. When you truly let go, you have let go of inner resistance. This is what it means. Whatever life, in whatever direction your life unfolds, you don't resist that, you assist it, you cooperate with it. You don't fight life, you assist life. You assist intelligence assisting itself, so to say. You assist that process. And this is what letting go means. You can fully, 100% trust that great intelligence with everything in your life. Doesn't matter what it is. Every single thing, to the last thing, you can trust it fully, completely. Why? Because that great intelligence, again, is running in your blood, in your DNA, in your soul. And it will always move you in a certain direction in life. It will never leave you to deal with things alone, because it cannot leave you alone, because you are it, so to say. See, you cannot leave yourself. So you're always by yourself, which is divine intelligence, is manifesting itself through this creation, and it's participating in its own play. So you can fully trust that with your life and know that whatever is happening in your life, there is again that same intelligence behind it. But it's hard to comprehend, because we have certain desires, we want certain things from life, we avoid other things, and this is where reality, as it is right here, right now, starts clashing with your desires, your fears, and so on. Because you want your life to be like this, but then life shows you something different. It shows you another direction. But no, you want this out of life. So you start resisting it, and you just create hell for you. So here is an approach I suggest. Instead of you living in that state of thinking and believing that there is something in this life that you need to control, why don't we just let go fully, internally, while still participating in this game of life, but without the inner resistance, without the need for controlling things? Why not move with the current of life. Life is like water. It always flows in some direction, like a river, better put. And if you resist the flow of that river, you may even drown. But if you let go and you even start swimming in the same direction that the river is flowing, you feel like you're doing the right thing because you're not fighting the current of the river. You're assisting it by swimming with it. And that's what life is also. But we get caught up in everyday life. That's the thing. We get caught up in routines, habits, and we forget about these things. That's why watching videos like this, reading books about these things do really help, because they assist us in seeing the bigger picture. If you're only seeing everyday life and you're not looking at the bigger picture, you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be burned out. You're going to be worried, anxious, because you're not observing life. Because if you observe life, if you study life as a scientist, you discover a lot of things about life, which one of them is that this life didn't come to existence by some accident. It's so mathematically programmed and created that it can not be a product of accident or coincidence. It can be a product of spontaneity, but not a product of no intelligence, because there is intelligence in everything, in the plants, in the trees, in the cosmos, in the animals, in the insects, in the human beings. There is intelligence within all of them. See? So there is intelligence in life. More precisely put, life is intelligence itself. So worrying or trying to control life in some way is not the approach you want to have if you really want to be in harmony with life. Because that's what's most important to me right now, as of this channel. The message that I'm sharing is more about being in harmony with existence. See, not fight it, not struggle through it, but be in harmony with it. What does that mean? Where you see harmony does not mean a perfect balance. Sometimes life goes up and then it goes down. That's normal. How can you be in harmony while going through that? That's the question. You cannot get a life like this. This is not what this life is. Life is movement, up and down. So how can you be in harmony in the up and in the down, and in the process of going up and down? How can you be in harmony with that? That's the real question. Not to get your life like a straight line, because that's not what this life is. Well, to be in harmony with the movement of life, the flow of the river called life, you would need to fully accept what life is. You would fully need to accept who you are. You would fully need to accept your humanness. You would fully need to accept every single aspect that this reality has. This also includes things you don't approve of, things you find evil, things you find somehow not beneficial to the whole? Can you be in peace with all these things? It's easy to be at peace with things you like, but can you be at peace with things you don't like, things you don't approve of? Can you make peace with that? See, that's the only way you can be in harmony. Because life is just an unfolding of events, unfolding of the constant present moment. Let's call it like that. But our minds are what interpret the events, and we label them: this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. You see? So by having these preferences to what reality should be, you're resisting what is actually. And this is not an excuse to go out and do harmful things. You still need to assist life itself. Life means living, which means you assist whatever it is that it's living. So you don't go out and cheat, lie, steal, hurt people, because that's not who you are. People who do that, that's who they are. That's how life manifested itself through them. You see? And they will not be interested in topics like this one. So if you are interested in these topics, then you have a different perspective on things. And that's what you need to do. You need to do what you really believe in and fully trust the intelligence that is life. Because what's the alternative? The alternative is not to trust life and to try to control every single detail. Have you tried that already? How did it went? How did it go? See, it doesn't go well. You try to control, you get exhausted, because life is constantly showing you that this existence has nothing to do with control. It has to do with being in harmony with the flow. That's what this existence is all about. Can you be in harmony with everything, including yourself, of course? What else? Did we cover everything? Yeah, when you get tired of trying to control everything, that's when you actually start seeking a different way of living. You need to first to try to control everything, so then you realize it's not doing you any good. You're just being burned out and exhausted all the time. And then you kind of start the journey of learning to surrender, learning to let go. And again, what does letting go mean and surrender? It doesn't mean you stop doing things. You keep doing the things you need to do in your life. You keep, if you have a dream, you go after that. If you have a business, you run it. If you make art, you make art. If you need to work more hours to support your family, you do that. Whatever life has shown to you personally, what you need to do in your life, you already know what to do. You keep doing it, but you let go of wanting things to be in a certain way, of wanting things to unfold in a certain way. Instead, you embrace everything in your life. That's what letting go is. It's essentially a deep level of acceptance of what is, That is letting go. You don't try to change what is, you cooperate with it. If what is changing, which it always is, you assist that. You don't try to change it in a different thing. You assist in whatever life wants to transform within you. And that's the basics of letting go and surrender. At first, you will try to surrender. You will try to let go. But then you see that this also doesn't work because, again, you're trying to control something internally. You're trying to let go. You're trying to surrender, but it doesn't work. Why don't you let go of the need to let go? Why don't you, if you have inner resistance, why don't you let that inner resistance be there? Don't resist the resistance and don't try to let go of the resistance. If you have inner resistance, let that be there. You see, it's a full acceptance of everything, your internal life and your external life. You fully accept and embrace that, and you work with that. If you want some improvement on an external level, you work towards it, but you see in what direction life pulls you, and you assist that, even though you may not see the final outcome, even though you may not see how this activity or whatever it is will benefit your life, but it feels right, you know it's your thing, so you keep doing it. And then you realize later that you needed that. You see, that's the thing about life. You always get what you need. You don't get what you want. Sometimes you get what you want, that's true. But most of the time, as it comes of my experience, I can tell you that you get what you truly need right here, right now. Can you be in harmony with that? That's the question. Can you be in harmony with your life? How do we get in harmony? You don't resist anything. You assist the unfolding, you assist the spontaneity of your life, and you move with that. And you trust that fully. Why trust it? How can I trust something I don't see? Oh, that's a question people have. How can I trust a God or divine intelligence that I cannot see? Well, can you see yourself? I don't mean your body. I don't mean your eyes when you look in the mirror. I don't mean your hair, your whatever. Not the vehicle that you're wearing. Can you see who you are? Can you see your soul? Can you see yourself, so to say? You cannot. You see? You cannot see yourself. It's the same as Alan Watts and many other philosophers and spiritual teachers have described it. It's like trying to touch the tip of your finger with the same finger. You cannot do it. Or trying to see your eyes with your eyes. You cannot do that. So you cannot see yourself. But because that greater intelligence is what you are, it, that's why you can see it. Because you are that great intelligence in a human form. So you cannot see it. You cannot see yourself. You can only see everything else. That's why you cannot see God or divine intelligence. You can only realize its presence by realizing that you are intelligence in a form. And that same intelligence is what has created everything, is what's running everything, is what's making everything move, what's making everything rest, what's creating art, what's making music, what's creating businesses, what's also doing harmful things. It's inclusive, it's everything and everyone. And the key thing here is that you realize that what I've just shared with you, and you let go of thinking that your life should be in a certain way, because your life should be the way it is right now. And this may seem harsh because we're not always in situations that we like. We're not always in situations that we enjoy. And how would you say that this is what it should be? I definitely don't like this situation, and I mean it, and I cannot get out of it. Why should that be the way it is, and why is that perfect the way it is? That's a question you have to answer yourself, not intellectually by asking it, but by observing your life carefully, because everything you're going through will pass. This existence is a temporary thing. It's coming and it's going, giving birth to existence and then dying. So every experience you have, that's the nature of it. It's temporary. Once you get past a situation or an experience that you don't like, you will see how much you've actually grown by going through that. But you can only see that once you've crossed to the other side of that experience. And this does not apply to only to major life experiences. It could be your everyday life. Of course, if you're going through some dark moments of your life, dark stage of your life, that in itself is a major life experience, and that applies to it when you're on the other side of that stage. Because you always move, you never stay where you are. Life is movement. You will move past that stage if you're in that. Then you see how much you've grown through that. You cannot see it while you're going through it. The same with everyday life. When you encounter difficult situations, situations that throw you off balance, later you will see how these everyday situations also have helped you grow a lot. But again, you can only see these things in retrospect. Wasn't it Steve Jobs who said that you cannot connect the dots looking forward? You can only connect the dots looking in retrospect, looking back at your life. So you must trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. That's what Steve Jobs said. And he wasn't a spiritual teacher, but he had the wisdom to recognize that, not while being in the moment, in the stage where the dots need to connect, but by being in later stages and then doing seeing in retrospection how one thing led to another, and then to another, and then the dots somehow connected in a way that you couldn't possibly imagine and see. That's so because life is a mystery, and you never know what will happen next. So you need to make peace with that and accept that life, we could say, is a spontaneous unfolding, and everything that's meant for you will find you. We could go even deeper and say that everything that has ever everything that will ever happen has already happened. We can go even deeper than that. But on a more human level, it's a spontaneous unfolding. If we go even deeper, the book of life has already been written. So everything you will experience, you have already experienced. But this doesn't really help you. We can say it because we feel the truth in it, but it doesn't really help you on a practical level. What helps you on a practical level is more to realize life is a spontaneous unfolding while it's mixed with destiny. That's, I feel, as of right now, the perspective that I feel like it's most practical. So be in harmony with life. Don't resist life. Don't try to control anything in life. Just experience life to the fullest. And you see that it's way better to live like that. You let go of inner resistance. You let go of fantasies of how your life should look like. You be here, you be here right now. What's your experience right now? Be with that and do that your entire life. What's your experience right here, right now? Be fully in that and do that your entire life. And that's what it means to embrace life and to be in harmony with it. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please leave a like. This helps the channel a lot. I appreciate that. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.